My name is Abdullah Bajaba. So I'm a university professor. So I teach courses in the area of organizational behavior. I teach courses in the area of leadership. So basically anything that relates to the world of psychology in the workplace, hopefully to make the employees more effective and more efficient and obviously happier in life. And so I have been actually teaching classes for multiple years now. I started my teaching journey, I believe, in 2018. And ever since then, I've been teaching numerous classes, multiple workshops, going to meetings, going to presentations, you name it. And so I've been involved in a lot of speaking opportunities, whether I liked them in the past or not, I was involved in them. But yeah, so let me give you just as a quick example. Last year, I have taught around like 10 classes. So I worked with over 1,000 students. So I got my PhD in the year 2022. So that was actually last year. But I have been teaching even when I was in my doctoral degree program, which I started in 2017. So I got it in organizational behavior, which is basically how to improve the performance of the employees in the workplace, their efficiency, and obviously their mental well-being. So we focus more on the individual more than the macro side of the organization. So when I was in pre-Pro 90D, I remember that there are multiple main things that I used to experience. So obviously I used to stammer a lot. It was really hard for me to even say my name, believe it or not. Like for me, like to say Abdullah Bajaba, that was really hard for me. Not only that, but I was overly agreeable. I always said yes, 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 because I did not want to engage in a lot of conflict. Because if I engage in conflict, this means that I have to speak more. And if I have to speak more, I might stammer more. And oh my God, right? So I was overly agreeable. The second thing, I was avoidant of new opportunities, right? So, for example, let's say that I just, started my bachelor's degree and I have a presentation that I have to do in geology. I would have been afraid of it. And if I had the choice, I would not have taken or done that presentation. So I used to avoid things that would actually benefit me in the future. I used to feel victimized. I used to feel that, hey, there's no hope. There's nothing that I can do about it. I cannot speak the way that I'm speaking right now. That said, I'm doomed, which, spoiler alert, that is not the case. And that there's hope, I used to be exhausted a lot. Anytime that I go to a social event, even when I'm talking to my brother, my mother, or my father, my sisters, you name it, my friends, every time I used to be exhausted and I used to be drained of energy, such that even after just 5 or 10 minutes of speaking, it is as if I have done a full day of work. So
I remember.
yeah, so pre-Pro 90D, hopefully I'm not there anymore. And I hope that the rest of us can actually get out of that because you can. So although in front of everyone I was speaking okay almost for the majority of the part, smiling, laughing, etc., but deep inside I was doing a lot of managing, a lot of thinking, a lot of anticipating, a lot of stuff. Even after I am done with the presentation or like my class, I go home and I sleep because I've been doing a lot of thinking. So though it might seem on the outside that I'm okay for the majority of the part, stammering is not only an issue that is appearing on the outside, it can also be an issue that is you are feeling, but everyone else might not be seeing that in you. So it's either if you are showing that or you're feeling that, in my opinion, at least, they both would count as the issue of stammering that we can get. I felt that due to the nature of my job and going into academia, obviously, I would have to interact with a lot of students, with a lot of faculty members, engage with the community, the industry, and all of this, that will I or do I even really want to spend the rest of my life going through the same stress every day, go back home and sleep, you name it, etc., and be exhausted? And I said, no, that is not what I want. Well, what if, for example, if I want to get into a romantic relationship with my partner, and then I feel that I cannot say what I want to say when I want to say it? What if I want to help people, but I say, no, I can't because I'm a stammerer, right? Or I have a stammer. And so I said, no, that I need to take control of it. And so as I was actually searching through YouTube, I found your videos. And that is when I actually began the journey with Pro 90D. And so I was watching your videos nonstop. And as soon as I saw the videos, I knew that there's hope. I knew that there is a way for me to improve because that is not who I am, especially since when I'm alone at home, I do not experience any form of stammer or any form of stutter. So I was wondering why when I was alone, that is not the case. But when I'm with others that is the case, then there has to be a solution. And so when I was watching your videos, I've learned about the change in the mindset, the change in the identity, the techniques that we can utilize, and that there's actually a plan, a path that we can actually utilize for us to actually improve. And so afterwards, I felt that I wanted more, and I wanted to dive into the nitty-gritty details. That is when I signed up for the Pro 90D self-study. Now, I wanted, to be honest, at the time to sign for the coaching, the private coaching, but I was a student at the time, so I did not have the money. And so I said that I will start with a self-study. And that is what I did. And I started in 2019, and I've been working on my own. I used to write stuff in notes. I did the daily affirmations. I did the blueprints, and there's a lot and wealth of information in there. And I felt when I did the self-study, then my speech improved. I'm not joking, by a minimum of 70%, a minimum of 70%. And so I felt that I was doing good, that I actually did not need to even work further on my speech. And then I went through a lot of struggles in my life and a lot of stress. And so I stopped doing the blueprints as much, and I reverted a little bit back onto who I used to be, all right? And so that is when I've actually decided that since I have the money right now, and I got my job, that it is my opportunity to actually get back on track because I've seen the improvement, but I want to make it even better. And I actually want to add also to that, Michael, is that when I say that I have improved my speech by 70%, I mean that this is a huge improvement from zero, right? And what I mean by that is that right now I'm able to say what I want to say, when I want to say it, the way that I want to say it. But when I say that I went into coaching to move from the 70% all the way to the 90 or above, is because I just wanted it to be automatic and I wanted to expedite the process. But with the self-study, I was actually able to do the presentations. I was able to teach. I was able to say my name, which is a big improvement from the past when I was not able to even say Abdullah Bajab. And so I started the coaching program, I believe like 5 weeks ago or so. And so as soon as I began the coaching program, I felt that I had an increased confidence in my ability to speak because when I talked with Michael the first time, he noticed multiple stuff. And I will talk about this in a sec once I explain my examples. He showed me 1 or 2 or 3 things of aspects in my speech that I need to focus on in order for me to improve my speech. And so after the 3rd week or the 4th week, I experienced a little bit of challenges in my life, a lot of stresses, etc. And so I experienced a small dip, right? So the main idea behind this is that in the past, I had this idea or identity that I have to be very perfect when I speak, that I should not make a single mistake, that everything has to flow smoothly and we should not get any hiccups or bumps. And so in the first 3 weeks, because I have experienced a lot of improvement, so this was feeding my identity of perfection. Right? But then as soon as I experienced the first step, which is completely normal because everyone has that or everyone experiences that from time to time, unfortunately, because I had that mindset of perfectionism, I was heavily affected by it. And so in that week on a Friday, I remember that exactly. I was doing a workshop for the faculty of the School of Business. And that workshop session, although I did the presentation amazingly and all of that, but deep inside, I was overthinking. I was thinking about what is coming up, anticipating the words, you name it. So it is not the feeling that I had in the first 1 to 3 weeks. And so I sat down with Michael and I explained the entire situation. And he told me that, hey, it is okay for you to be imperfect, and it is okay. It is normal for us actually to experience the dips every now and then. And so over that week, I worked on changing my mindset that every time I had a dip, it is okay. We learn from it. What can we do about it? That next time we will do better. And so I went through this and I did the second workshop session just 1 week after, you guys, 1 week. And the complete opposite occurred, right? I had no anticipation. I was breathing normally. I was talking. Everything was smooth. And the audience was interacting with me within 1 week. Just a quick change in the identity and how we see ourselves, such that we do not be hard on ourselves, changed my speaking identity. And these are the things that are explained in the Pro 90D system that usually you need to believe in order for you to experience that true transformation. There are things that you might not be aware of yourself. All right. So, for example, when I talked with Michael in the first session, I thought that I was not rushing in my speech. I thought that I was speaking at a normal pace. But then he told me, no, slow down a little bit. And then I actually, as soon as I slowed down even further, I noticed a huge improvement in just 1 minute. So the ability that we have in the coaching with Michael is that he is able to observe things that we might not be aware of that might actually transform our speech immediately, or at least at a faster rate. So that is what we mean by expediting the process, making it faster, because he is able to see what you might not be able to see. That is the first thing. The second thing is that Michael, or the coaching experience, can help you focus on the specific aspects of your speech that you need to work on the most. So when you engage in the self-study program, there is a lot of information for you to go through, and I would highly recommend that you go through the majority of them. But there are some areas that will impact you more than others based on who you are. So the experience that is going to be tailored for you, this will also expedite the process and will make you achieve automaticity much faster. All right. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, and there are actually more benefits, but I would say the social support. Just like what I've experienced with the workshop, when I did not do as good as I wanted to, at least internally, I immediately reached out to Michael and explained what was going on. And he said that, hey, it is okay, this happened, so here's what you can do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this immediately, within 1 week, changed the entire story for me. So if I want to summarize it, if you want to have a plan focused on you and what you need, if you want to be efficient and expedite the process, and if you want to have that accountability and social support, then it is a good idea for you to go to the coaching program. I'm going to be honest with all of you who are watching or even listening to this audio or video, is that for me, at least, it was 100% worth it. I mean, like to be honest, having that feeling of confidence that you can say what you want to say, when you want to say it, however you want to say it, when you are talking to your family, your partner, your colleagues, this feeling on its own, it is worth it, in my opinion. Not only that, but when you actually go through the coaching experience or even the self-study, the amount of money that you have invested, it will be nothing compared to what you're about to get in return, because you will increase your value. I would not say you will increase your value. You would release your actual value that has been buried within you, such that you will get more opportunities in the future. You might be promoted, you might get raises, and you will make up the money like that, and you will get much more for eternity of life. So in my opinion, it was worth it every single step of the way. And if I have to do the reinvestment again right now, I will do it.